take a look at the hymn, A Mighty Fortress is Our God now, and we'll make a little comparison. Let's see if A Mighty Fortress is Our God is the kind of hymn that can stay through multiple generations because it has depths of strength that God's Church's one doesn't have. Here we go, you ready? A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Our helper, he amid the flood of mortal hills prevailing. For still our ancient foe doth seek to work us woe. His craft and power are great, and armed with cruel hate. On earth is not his equal. Well, that's just the first stanza. As we did with the other hymn, let's take a look at this. We'll start with the theology. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Our helper he amid the flood of mortal ills prevailing. For still our ancient foe seeks to work us woe. His craft and power great, and armed with cruel hate. On earth is not his equal. It's true, Satan's equal is not found on this earth. And did we in our own strength confide, our striving would be losing. We're not the right man on our side, the man of God's own choosing. Well, who is he? Jesus Christ, Lord Sabaoth, the Lord Almighty, from age to age the same, and he must win the battle. Ah, so true. We could not beat Satan on our own. It takes Christ. And though this world with devils filled should threaten to undo us, we will not fear, for God has willed his truth to triumph through us. Prince of darkness grim, we tremble not for him. His rage we can endure, for lo, his doom is sure. One little word shall fell him. Wonder what that word is. Well, that word, above all earthly powers, no thanks to those demons, abides. The Spirit and the gifts are ours through him who with us sides. Let goods and kindred go, the mortal life also. The body they may kill, God's truth abideth still. His kingdom is forever. And so what we find is this hymn is all about how we have no power to defeat Satan, but that little word of Christ is able to defeat him on his own. Strong theology, put into sort of military terms. Let's look at this poetically and see how it holds up over the years. A mighty fortress is our God. In the first place, we're able to just say this very strongly with these quarter notes, and it has a lot of T's and a D at the end of God, and it sings like trumpet. We've got bright vowels as we sing these higher notes. A mighty fortress is our God. Anyway, poetically, very strong. Now, there's a lot of archaic terminology throughout this that makes it difficult for modern ears to understand, such as a bulwark, or the saying, did we in our own strength confide, our striving would be losing. We get a little confused as to exactly what that's saying. It takes a little bit of deciphering for the modern mind to get through that. It's not quite so straightforward. Nonetheless, a lot of good poetry. So we find there is very little inverted word order, certainly no awkward inverted word order. For still our ancient foe does seek to work us woe, some internal rhyme. His craft and power are great, and armed with cruel hate. On earth is not his equal. Okay, so the rhyme scheme is kind of complicated, but the pauses are in the right place. They are where there is punctuation, and by and large, and so that's strong. Now let's look at the melody and see if that's holding the test of time. Remember how that jumped a whole lot? This one starts and it's more like a trumpet call. Ah, that's easy to remember. That's just a stepwise. It's almost like Joy to the World. Just one turn up, and then our way back down. Okay, so we went A down to 5, A down to 1. All right, the second line does the same thing. All right, so if you got the first line, you can sing the second line. There's a great advantage, okay? And then we get the contrasting material where we go straight to the dominant. Now the F sharp puts us into the key of 5. Now I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and I first heard that was a little hard to remember because it was 4 different phrases, each of which was different. However, for the most part, other than the upward leap of the 5th, it's scalar motion, which makes it much easier to sing. And then we close it out with the same B idea that's already happened twice. All right, so there's a lot more tightness and consistency, even though it's a very long verse and we have a lot of words there. Okay, so melodically, I think we could definitely say this is strong. Now, how about the harmonies? The voicing changes, but listen. Was all the same chord, 3 in a row. 5, 3, 6, 5 of 5 to 5. That's a 2, 5, 1 in the key of the dominant. It's changing almost every quarter note, but especially when we get to the ends of the lines, again we've got 2, 5, 1. So we went 2, 5, 1 in the dominant. And then 2, 5, 1, and the tonic. Second line does the same thing as the first. Boy, there's variety, and yet there's a real sense of drive in the harmonies here. And then we have definite contrast. We went to 5, to the dominant key again. To the sub-mediant. Secondary dominant, sub-mediant. Back to dominant again, and then we saw this same chord in God's Church is One. It's that major 3, the 5 of 6, which went back to 6 this time. 6, 2, 5, 1. Harmonies, strong, solid, driving toward cadence. No weaknesses there. And so we see that theologically, poetically, though a little archaic, nonetheless poetically, melodically, harmonically, and rhythmically, A Mighty Fortress Is Our God really stands up and can stand the test of time. Now next we're going to explore how it stood the test of time. A Mighty Fortress's dark secret. But for now, we'll just say, what a wonderful hymn.